My name is Claire Morgan. I am 31 years old, and the biggest mistake of my life was marrying a man I respected but never truly loved. It sounds terrible, I know. For a long time, I could not even admit it to myself. But some truths stay hidden only for a while. Eventually, they find a way to come out. Before I met my husband, my love life was a disaster. I spent years dating men who lied, cheated, and broke promises. One boyfriend borrowed money and disappeared. Another flirted with other women behind my back. After enough heartbreak, I stopped believing that real love existed. Then I met Nathan Reed. Nathan was different. He was calm, reliable, and kind. We met at a friend's dinner party in Portland. While everyone else talked about themselves, Nathan listened. He remembered small details about people and treated everyone with respect. My family loved him immediately. "Claire," my father told me one evening, "that man will always take care of you." Maybe that was why I said yes when he proposed 8 months later. The truth is, I almost refused. Not because Nathan was a bad man. He was wonderful. But when he asked me to marry him, I did not feel excitement. I did not feel butterflies. I felt safe. At the time, I convinced myself that safety was enough. So I married him. The first year of marriage was peaceful. Nathan woke up early, made coffee every morning, and kissed my forehead before leaving for work. He never forgot birthdays or anniversaries. He never raised his voice. But something inside me felt empty. Every night, we sat together watching television. We talked about work, bills, and weekend plans. Nothing was wrong, yet I felt disconnected. I hated myself for feeling that way because Nathan deserved better. Then everything changed. A new marketing director joined my company. His name was Lucas Hayes. Lucas was confident, funny, and unpredictable. He walked into a room and immediately became the center of attention. People laughed at his jokes and listened when he spoke. The first time he smiled at me, I felt something I had not felt in years. Excitement. At first, we were only coworkers. We talked during lunch breaks and meetings. Then we started texting. The conversations became longer and more personal. One afternoon, Lucas looked at me and said, "You seem unhappy." The comment shocked me. "No, I'm fine," I replied. He shook his head. "You smile a lot, but your eyes look sad." His words stayed with me for days. That night, I came home and found Nathan waiting with dinner. He smiled warmly and asked about my day. Looking at him, I felt guilty. He was a good husband. So why was I thinking about another man? Over the next few months, my friendship with Lucas became dangerous. Every message made me feel important. Every compliment made me feel alive. I knew I was crossing a line, but I kept going. One evening after a company celebration, Lucas and I stayed behind while everyone else left. We stood outside in the cold night air. "You deserve more than a life that makes you unhappy," he said softly. Then he kissed me. For a moment, I froze. I should have walked away. Instead, I kissed him back. The second it happened, regret hit me. When I returned home, Nathan was asleep on the couch waiting for me. Seeing him there made me feel sick with guilt. But I still did not stop. The affair continued. I lied constantly. I said I had meetings, deadlines, and work dinners. Nathan believed every word because he trusted me completely. That trust became harder and harder to carry. Meanwhile, Lucas started changing. The charming man I had fallen for became impatient and selfish. He grew angry when I could not meet him. He criticized Nathan and pressured me to leave my marriage. One night he said, "If you really care about me, divorce your husband." For the first time, I saw the situation clearly. This was not love. It was a mistake. But by then, I had already done terrible damage. A few weeks later, everything fell apart. I came home late and found Nathan sitting at the kitchen table. My phone was lying in front of him. Messages from Lucas covered the screen. My heart stopped. Nathan looked exhausted. "How long?" he asked quietly. I started crying immediately. "Nathan, I'm sorry." He closed his eyes. "How long, Claire?" I told him the truth. The pain on his face was worse than any anger could have been. "I trusted you," he whispered. Those 3 words broke me. Nathan packed a suitcase that night. I begged him to stay. I promised to change. But some damage cannot be undone. Before leaving, he looked at me and said something I will never forget. "I loved you with my whole heart. I only wish you had been honest." Then he walked away. A week later, Lucas expected us to begin a real relationship. Instead, I saw him differently. Without the secrecy and excitement, his flaws became impossible to ignore. He cared little about my feelings and showed no understanding of what I had lost. Then I discovered he was seeing another woman. When I confronted him, he simply shrugged. "We were never serious," he said. I felt sick. I had destroyed my marriage for someone who never truly cared about me. Soon after, Nathan filed for divorce. The process was quick but painful. Every document reminded me of the life I had thrown away. After the divorce, I moved to another city and started over. 4 months, I lived alone with my regrets. Eventually, I began therapy. There, I finally faced the truth. I had not married Nathan because I loved him. I married him because I was afraid of being alone. Then I chased excitement because I confused it with happiness. Accepting that truth hurt deeply. But it helped me grow. Slowly, I learned to take responsibility for my choices. I stopped blaming others. I stopped searching for validation from people around me. About a year later, I was browsing in a bookstore when I saw Nathan again. He looked happy. Standing beside him was a woman with a warm smile. When he introduced her, I immediately understood. She loved him the way he deserved to be loved. As they walked away together, I felt tears in my eyes. Not because I wanted him back. Because I finally understood what I had lost. Some people spend their lives searching for real love and never find it. I found it. But I was too afraid, too confused, and too selfish to recognize it. My name is Claire Morgan. I am 31 years old, And this is the hardest lesson I ever learned. Never mistake peace for boredom, and never trade genuine love for temporary excitement. Sometimes the greatest heartbreak is realizing that the person who loved you most is the person you chose to lose.
Thanks for watching my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next story.